Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're joining me today. My name is Nayeli, and for today's video I wanted to talk about armpits. I wanted to share with you some aluminum-free deodorants that I've been using, kind of my thoughts after wearing them for a certain specific amount of time. Some of them I've been able to finish, some they just absolutely didn't work for me, so I stopped using them pretty quickly. And with each of these deodorants that I've tried, I have tried to keep these things in mind. Will my underarms still sweat? Will they still smell? Will they irritate my underarms? Will they make my skin darker in that area? And because I wear tight clothes and my underarms, because I wear scrubs every day, is it something that's gonna make them feel worse? Is it going to affect that feeling? Is it gonna be exacerbated because of the irritation that I'm feeling on my skin? And lastly, can I find this in an aluminum-free deodorant? Because ever since I've used deodorant, I never really paid attention to the ingredients, and so naturally all of them would have aluminum in them. And so with time I found that yes, they helped with the smell or with the sweating, but I always found my underarms to be very irritated constantly, like all the time. They just wouldn't really feel very comfortable, and I just kind of got used to that. So I wanted to find some sort of alternative that didn't do that. I was wondering if maybe it was the aluminum causing the irritation or if it was something else. I wanted to start with the latest ones that I've used, which this one is the Zion Health Clear Dry Deodorant, and I bought this in the Spring Rain scent. It does have like an interesting smell. It almost smells a little bit manly for some reason. I don't know how to describe it. Kind of a clean scent that is a bit manly, but I don't know, for some reason I just really am into this scent. I find myself smelling out a lot. Not only is it aluminum free, but it is also vegan, and it is fairly inexpensive. I bought both of these deodorants at Marshall's, and I believe this one was like $3.99 when normally it's like an extra $1 when you buy it online, I think. I'm not sure, but I got this one for $3.99. It was a really amazing price. It's probably like one of the cheapest deodorants I've found thus far, especially that claims to be aluminum free. If this is actually good, then I've truly hit a home run. And I was rooting for this one so much. I wanted it to work so bad. The positive thing about this too is that it didn't irritate my skin. I tried this and I still use it from time to time when I'm just kind of staying at home and I don't want to wear a lot of deodorant. What I actually did is I did it like this actually. I used this deodorant on my right side and then I used this deodorant on my left just to kind of compare them. This one, even though I really like its scent, it didn't really help in masking away my own BO. Like I said, I wanted to love it so much, but it's just not strong enough for my skin. And I guess what I should have also prefaced this with is that ever since I started to smell, I have had a very strong smell. I'm not someone that can go without wearing deodorant all day, you'll be fine. No, that's not me at all. I need to wear something, and not just that, I need to wear a lot of it, because if not, then my personal scent will show up. Unfortunately, this was not strong enough for that. This one, I didn't really feel very irritated. I didn't get like a rash or anything like that. It had so much going for it and I wanted it to work so bad, but unfortunately it didn't. It has a lot of funky natural ingredients in it, a lot of fragrance, it has essential oils. I think the unique factor about this ingredient and the name of it as well stems from the ionic clay minerals that I'm assuming are supposed to kind of help dry the skin out and allow you not to sweat as much. The interesting thing is that I didn't sweat a whole lot. I just felt like, I guess you probably need to reapply this, but I'm not the type of person that likes to reapply. I feel like if I'm going to put on deodorant again, my underarm needs to be clean, which means like I have to literally like grab whatever, you know, body soap and use it and wash it off with water and do all of that stuff in order for me to reapply. Say I'm running around and then I put it on again, it just feels very icky. I don't like that. So it's not like I carry around deodorant with me. I basically like just suffer through it and just be like this the rest of the day. That is just what happened with this one, unfortunately. I think maybe if you are a person who is not as smelly, then you might like this, but that is not me. It is, I'm a person who smells, but then especially when I'm at work running around, it's just not gonna do it. And I can't even imagine and doing exercise. It's just not gonna work out. Then also at Marshall's, I bought this brand that really enticed me because of its packaging. I thought it was really cute. Cleo Coco, or Cleo plus Coco, or Cleo and Coco. I don't know how you pronounce the name of this brand, but it is the charcoal deodorant, natural plus aluminum free, and it is in the True Blue, Blue Tansy, sensitive, baking soda free. Oh, and another thing that I wanted to mention is that I also tried my best to find deodorants that didn't include baking soda, because I'm also trying to find deodorants that have like the least amount of weird ingredients. Make sure that I can find a deodorant that isn't going to irritate my skin. And I have heard that baking soda can be pretty irritating, so that is why I opt for baking soda free. My first issue with this is that it's very hard. It's very hard to actually get the deodorant into your underarms. Felt like I was like tugging at it and it felt very hard. This was even when it was hot outside. I can't imagine how hard it would be during the winter time or when it's actually really cold here in Texas. So I definitely didn't like that. The smell of it is, it's strong. I feel like it's an acquired scent. I don't know, it smells kind of citrusy, but also a little bit clean, but mostly citrusy. And you know, to no surprise, it has a lot of fragrance. It has coconut oil, arrowwood powder, zinc oxide, which I feel like arrowwood powder shows up a lot in natural deodorants, and I think that it does help kind of with excessive sweat. It has citrus, like sweet orange peel oil, which I'm thinking is where I'm getting that scent from. It has charcoal powder, bentonite, which I think that's like a form of a clay, which I'm thinking that's what makes it really hard and like tuggish. I used that one on this underarm and I found that this one ran out really fast, even faster than the Claydry one. There were a lot of negatives with this one, so I definitely won't be purchasing this one again. At Marshall's, it costed me $9.99, but I think that this is a more expensive brand because on here it says to compare at $18, which to me is kind of crazy. Paying $20 for something that is absolutely not gonna work. It's like the Claydry is already better than this one, and it's like way cheaper. So I really cannot recommend this Cleo and Coco one at all. Don't even waste your money, even if you don't have a lot of scent. Like, why would you go out of your way to pay something so expensive that does the minimal amount of work? I just don't see it. I just don't understand. On to another one that was really interesting. I actually tried the Kosas Sport deodorant. It is their somewhat new, well, not super new. It's kind of hard to see it on the camera because it's so light, but it's the Kosas Sport fragrance-free chemistry AHA serum deodorant, and this one I feel like was pretty popular when it just came out. They have the scented and the unscented version. This is the unscented one. If there is a possibility of getting an unscented version, I will go to that first. But the really cool thing about this one is that it has exfoliating ingredients that are supposed to keep your underarms clean from the bacteria to avoid you getting that foul smell. So the thought of it is really intriguing and really interesting. However, as some of you may know, using an exfoliant every single day is not something that you want to do because then it can be irritating for your skin. I found that at the beginning I was doing a pretty good job on my underarms. I wasn't having much scent. I think I probably sweat a little bit, but honestly, I'm okay with having some sweat as long as I don't have a smell. And this one pretty much delivered in that for quite a while. Towards the end, when I was almost finishing my bottle though, after maybe like 2 to 3 weeks of using it, I found that I started getting kind of a little bit more and more irritated when I was using it. Like I actually felt almost like not raw, but kind of tender feeling on my underarms. So I was really close to repurchasing it, but then I decided, well, maybe I should just look to another deodorant and see if I like that. I think that it was just reaching to that point where the exfoliating aspect of it was just becoming a little bit too much for my skin. I think maybe if you were to use this, it could be something that you wear once or twice a week, maybe. It's just not something that I would wear every single day. Something that kind of threw me off guard as well is that obviously because of, you know, the color of my hair and my skin, I realized that the hair in my underarms is also black or very dark colored, kind of like this. But upon wearing this, like literally like the second time that I started wearing it, I started noticing that the hairs started to become brown, even though my hair is pretty close to black. It was becoming a lot lighter, and that was a bit of a cause for concern. I was like, I've never had that happen with a deodorant before. So I wasn't a fan of that. Regardless, I tried to ignore it, and like I said, towards the end of it, I was becoming irritated. So I just couldn't find myself using it anymore. As far as the price, I think it was maybe like $15 on Sephora if I'm not mistaken, which is also kind of steep. I didn't really mind the roll-on aspect of it. I mean, it's all dried up now, but I found that a lot of people had mentioned feeling like it kind of tugs on their skin, like it kind of like pinches it or something like that. But I never experienced that at all with this deodorant. Actually, the way that I put the deodorant on is I just go through like a single motion and follow that motion. I don't go up and down. I just go either down or up, but most of the times I just go down. So I found that I never had that issue. Pretty hairy, so I grow hair very quickly. I don't shave very often, so even with that, I never pulled any hair. It never tugged at my skin, so that wasn't a problem. It was just more the irritation towards the end of it. So I'm not fully sure if I can recommend this one. I wanted to like it as well, but you guys may be able to tell or not, I don't know, but I finished the majority of it. It still sounds like it has some, but whenever I would try to roll it on, nothing would come out, so I don't know. Oh, also I wanted to mention about the Kosas one is that it was pretty effective for me at work. It didn't cause a lot of issues, but what it did do is that whenever I would actually exercise, it wasn't very helpful in those scenarios. So it's not like a crazy strong deodorant. It's pretty good. It's probably better than the other two I've mentioned. It's not the strongest thing out there. So yeah, that was that one. And then right after I used this one, I tried this one by Type A, and it is their aluminum-free deodorant with sweat activated technology. They have so many scents. I was trying to see if I could find the unscented version at the store. I didn't want to purchase it online and wait on shipping and all that. So unfortunately I had to buy one with fragrance, and it is in the white floral linen. It's kind of a weird scent. I'm not really like a huge fan of it, but I like the idea that it has like this little opening right here where if you push, then it kind of just starts to come out through here. So I like the premise of that. Like, it's kind of cool. It's not something that's going to become hard to work with in the winter. Like, you can really just push it out and the product comes out, so it's really cool. And it has some pretty cool ingredients. You know, it has glycerin, it has dimethicone, that arrowwood powder, it has coconut oil, it has aloe vera leaf extract, jasmine oil, ylang ylang, flower oil, zinc. It has a lot of like essential oil type things. So yeah, this one also irritated my skin. I think it did a good job in keeping me sweat free and BO free, but it was just irritating on my skin, and I think it's because of how many fragrant ingredients it has. And it was kind of weird because it says it is like this dry touch cream, but I would put it on my underarms and it would feel kind of like a very viscous feeling on my underarms. I just wasn't a huge fan of how it felt, but I appreciated that it helped to mask my scent, and it kind of helped a little bit with the sweat as well. But yeah, it was just a little too irritating. I could feel it like on my underarms, especially when I was wearing things that were really tight fitting. I finished a whole bottle of it. I bought it again because I kind of just wanted to I don't know, I try a lot of these deodorants and I want them to work so bad, but then they end up not working. So then it just becomes kind of difficult. And then two other deodorants that I can kind of remember but that I don't have their actual packaging for is, well, first of all, I wanted to talk about Little Seed Farm because that brand actually took me on this whole aluminum free journey and like natural deodorant journey, because I heard of another girl on YouTube going through a list of aluminum free deodorants and she picked that as the best one. And so I thought I would give it a try. I tried the unscented version, but that was just a sample, so it didn't have a whole lot of it in there, and I found that that didn't do much for me. But one that I did try was their cucumber scent, and I really liked the smell of it. I thought it was really lovely. It's a very interesting and different kind of deodorant because that one comes in a little container, and it also comes with like this little flat stick that you can use to scoop the actual deodorant out and then put it on your skin. You're also able to purchase on their website a bigger wooden spoon thingy that helps to bring it out and put it on your skin and stuff like that with more ease, because the little one that they give you for free is really small. So it's kind of hard to get that all on your underarms. It's a lot easier to get it out of the packaging when it's hot outside and like during the summer and all that. However, when it is cold, it is extremely hard to get it out. I would have it in the bathroom like while I was showering and turn on the hot water, and after my shower I would put it on, and even then like it would still be hard to get the product out of the container. So it was pretty irritating, especially when I was in a rush, or sometimes I would just try to like really hard to kind of break it up. And I obviously found that with my fingers it was a lot easier, but then it would be so messy. When it comes to those types of deodorants that you kind of scoop out on your own, you really have to be careful with the formulation because it can get very dry during cold weather. But aside from that, I really genuinely like that deodorant. I don't even know what to compare it to because it was like its own thing. It did a really good job in masking away my scent. I feel like at the beginning it wasn't as good. I feel like my body just kind of got used to it, or maybe I just started putting on more of it. And it wasn't very smelly either. It wasn't a harsh fragrance. I found that that cucumber one was pretty light scented, but I mean still it had fragrance in there. So I think ultimately that is what irritating my skin, because it didn't have baking soda, it was aluminum free, and it didn't have a crazy amount of ingredients. Actually, I think the list was pretty small compared to other deodorants that I've tried. At the end of it all, it was just kind of irritating my skin. I just decided to go on this journey to try to figure out and see if I could find something better than that one. Another thing is because of the consistency of it, that is almost kind of similar to the type A one, is because it's so like viscous and like almost kind of hard, kind of like clay-like. It tends to get stuck on your clothes if you don't let it kind of dry on your skin first. But because I'm like doing this as I go in the mornings, I can't really like wait for it to seep into my skin a little bit before putting my clothes on. I just put it on, put my shirt on, and then I was off. So I would find that like whenever I take my shirt off, it would have some smeared white from that deodorant. Because it was my scrubs, I didn't really care, but I think that if you're wearing a black shirt that you really like and stuff like that, like it might be kind of annoying. So that's something to bear in mind. It didn't necessarily bother me too much, but yeah, my issue with that Little Seed Farm deodorant was that it kind of irritated my skin. And actually something that I do to help avoid that irritation with some deodorants is that at the end of the day, even if I don't shower at night, I always make sure to use some sort of cleansing body soap or whatever on my underarms and wash them off with water, and even put a little bit of lotion on them before I go to bed. And I find that that really helps me not only keep them clean, to not create buildup of the deodorant from the from that previous day. And I also find that that brings down the amount of irritation that I feel from the deodorants. So I really like doing that every single day. I know it's kind of annoying and it takes up some time, but it really does help me with my irritation. And then obviously also not shaving all the time helps. Maybe at some point in the future I may consider doing some sort of laser hair removal, but at the moment I don't got the money for that. And so I kind of stick to shaving, but I don't do it all the time. So at the moment, I just kind of decided to go back to aluminum deodorants, and so that's what I'm doing at the moment. I found this one at my H-E-B, which is my grocery store, and it is the Dry Idea Advanced Dry, Hypoallergenic, Goes on Clear, Extra Effective, Unscented, Antiperspirant, and Deodorant Clear Gel. It does have aluminum. It also has denatured alcohol, propylene glycol, ingredients that some people may not be so keen on, but I don't really find that this one has irritated me. Honestly, like out of all the other deodorants that I've tried, I feel like this one's the one that's least irritated my underarms. What I'm coming to find is that it might be the fragrance that is irritating my skin and making it feel like extra uncomfortable. The key for me at least is to try products that are fragrance free or unscented. And if you also find yourself having a lot of irritation, then maybe that's a route that you might want to go on as well. I don't have a clear answer for, you know, the best aluminum-free deodorant as of yet. Leave your comments down below for any recommendations that you guys may have, because I would definitely like to continue my search and try to find the best aluminum-free deodorant that really helps with not only sweating but also to mask away odors. And when it comes to this one, it has, oh, it's already coming out. It kind of has like this gel that comes out through the top when you push this stuff out. It has like a little bit of a smell to it, but it's kind of just clean. It smells a little bit alcohol-y, but I really don't find that it makes my skin very dehydrated. You kind of do want something is going to suck in all the sweat that you're producing. So in that sense, I think that it is very helpful. Other ingredients that it may have in there are more emollient to make the formula feel more comfortable on your skin, which it actually does. It feels quite nice. It feels kind of cooling. I do like using this one quite a bit. Like I said, at the end of the day, I always wash off my underarms before going to sleep and putting a little bit of lotion on them. It's been working quite well for me. As far as the darkness of my underarms, it still kind of is there. I've had trouble to find something that helps with that. I feel like as long as I don't feel super irritated, that is something that I want. Ultimately, this checks a majority of the boxes for me at the moment, so this is what I've been using, and I have been using quite a bit of it. I'm almost done with it. I've been pretty happy with it. I don't really mind it. It's been pretty good to me so far, but you know, if I can find something that's aluminum free, also fragrance free, that actually works, that would be perfect. But as of now, I haven't really found something that works. I know that native deodorant is a very popular right now. I had bought it a while back ago, a very long time ago actually. It was years ago when I was in college, and I don't remember what it was, but I just remember that I told myself, no, this isn't for me. I'm never gonna buy this again. But I think ever since they have reformulated it, so I am curious to try it out and see if it actually works. I think what it was is I think it might have had baking soda before, but I think it doesn't now. I think it's something like that. I can't fully remember. So I'm kind of interested in trying it again. If you guys have tried it, let me know. I've actually tried the Dove 0% aluminum in that pomegranate scent, so it smelled really nice, but it irritated my skin quite a bit. I also tried the Tom's one, which I did not like at all. I think that it didn't do a good job in keeping my scent away, and then it also irritated me, so I was like, oh hell no, this is not the one. Like, I was really annoyed with the Tom's one. And I tried another one which I can't remember the name of. I just know it was a full white like little case, and it had like a little palm tree in there. I think it had magnesium in it as well, and it was kind of like $10, something around that price range. And that one did not work. I wanted to like it in the sense of it seemed to be very like no frills type of deodorant, but ultimately it was just not strong at all. When it ran out, I could totally smell my BO. It was probably like the worst deodorant that I've tried when it comes to my personal BO coming in. Like, it was just bad. I really wanted to like it because it looked really simple, it was unscented and all that good stuff, but yeah, that one didn't work. I know that there is a lot of talk between clean versus not clean ingredients out there, and while my mind is not like absolutely set, I feel like this fear that is being imposed on us about specific chemicals being put into our bodies is sometimes just gets a little too out of hand. But I'd be lying to you guys if I said that I never fell for it. You know, I still, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, if there's a way that I can avoid aluminum, then why not try it? It's just like a constant battle within me. Whether there is aluminum or there isn't aluminum in them, like, there are still other chemicals. Like, people are just trying to find the new chemical to go against so that people can freak out and just stop buying products that include that chemical and then only buy specific products that are quote unquote clean. But yeah, I wanted to briefly mention to you guys that the reason why I am trying to go aluminum free isn't because I'm part of like the clean community. I try to base things off of science and dermatologists and people who actually work in the field and have done multiple studies and research on these formulations and on these specific ingredients. The reality is that there just isn't enough information out there. There aren't multiple studies that do showcase that. There is aluminum in literally so many of the things that we consume that actually go inside our bodies. There is aluminum that can be found in water, in the pans that we cook our food, in processed foods, and even in many vegetables. So the fact that people are trying to make it seem like there's only one type of product in the industry, which if you want to go after a product in the beauty industry, there are so many other products, be it skincare, be it makeup, that also include aluminum. But for some reason, people just want to make it seem like it's only the bad guy in deodorant, when there are so many other things that we come into contact every single day that include aluminum. And not just that, other chemicals as well. But that doesn't mean that we are going to develop a certain disease because we are putting this thing on topically. It's always best to just kind of take a step back, truly look at a multitude of research by backed up professionals who went to school for a multitude of years, who formulate these products multiple times until they get the right formulation, and they test it out on people and then push it out into the public, rather than trusting an organization that doesn't do enough studies. People sometimes tend to think of the word chemical and attribute it to synthetic, and then attribute that to something negative, when in reality we are composed of chemicals. Fruits that we eat are composed of chemicals, and they are not synthetic. They grow from trees that came from the earth. The earth is made of chemicals. Think about the periodic table. Think of all the elements that show up there, and think what of that is included in the apple that I'm eating. Has ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna slice up the apple and just put it onto your face and that's gonna give you your daily dose of vitamin C to keep my skin brightened. So chemists and formulators are people that have been trained and gone to school and read and done all this research to put all of these ingredients together, all of these chemicals together, to form one thing that is going to provide some sort of service, whether it's skincare, whether it's to feed you, whether it's whatever it is. So I think that thinking about chemicals in that way, that literally everything that we consume, even the things that we sit on, the air that we're breathing, it's all chemicals. It's just the names of the specific elements that are forming the things that compose of our everyday lives, including ourselves. If we kind of think about things in that sense, chemicals don't really sound all that bad anymore, right? Because they literally just are here, everywhere. Me, you, the food, the things, the matter. So with that being said, I think that it's the wrong idea to get hung up on a specific ingredient. It's fine to be doubtful about specific things because that is how we can find, you know, breakthroughs in science and whatnot. So I think that it's good in the sense of, okay, if they start doing more research on aluminum in deodorants and the amount of the aluminum that is in them as well, because that is also a very important key aspect of all of this, is how much and with what else is it being formulated with that truly makes a difference in whether it is strong and whether it is harmful or not. Just looking at the ingredients only isn't going to tell you the full story. Chemists are formulating these ingredients together to form the things that we use on our daily basis. They know what specific ingredients go well with others to work in harmony and to create a successful product. With that all being said, I still was kind of curious to try to find an aluminum-free deodorant that hopefully would not irritate my skin, help me with the smell, with sweat and all that good stuff. So I wanted to share what I've tried in the past. Some things that work for me, some things that don't. My skin is kind of sensitive because I have been using things on my underarms that I guess have harmed it over the years, and I also shave, which doesn't keep my skin very smooth. So I'm definitely planning on continuing my search of a good aluminum-free deodorant, or just a good deodorant in general. I found one that I'm comfortable with at the moment, but unfortunately it is not aluminum-free. If you guys have found something that has really helped you in the past or that you're currently using, then do let me know. I would love to give it a try. And I'd rather do that, you know, go off of recommendations rather than just trying random things, because that is how I ended up, you know, trying all these different ones. And I actually have more that I've tried, but I ended up throwing away. So needless to say, my money has gone to a lot of different deodorants. But it's okay because I am on the search of trying to find something that works for me, and making these videos hopefully something that works for you guys as well. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you have any recommendations for me to try, then do leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!